Hello guys, it's Shrimp Time here, and today we've got yet another interesting video about shrimp keeping. Today we are going to talk about this tank which was started about 2 months ago by me, and it's a tank on Anoxic filtration, the filtration that based on semi-non-oxygen environment for beneficial bacteria to develop. I've decided that I will try this type of filtration in my shrimp tank and check if the filtration will be good for the shrimps and if I will be able to use this kind of filtration in my shrimp tanks. The main reason to do that is to achieve zero nitrogen levels in my tank. This is how the tank looks after 2 months of operation. As you can see, if you watched my previous video, there is a little addition to this tank. There is little something new in this tank, and this is a heater. And I keep my temperatures level at about 24 Celsius or 79 Fahrenheit, if I'm correct. So the main idea on this filtration is to achieve a very thick layer of soil, and thanks to that layer of soil, we will be able to get anoxic conditions for our bacteria. This is how the tank looks before, after the start, just after the start, and this is the water flow. It's very, very slow water flow. You can see those airdrops going very, very slowly. I've decided that I will put my Galaxy fishbone shrimps, which shows a little bit of snowflake pattern. This pattern is quite characteristic. You can see those dots on the tail of the shrimps. The shrimps were put in the tank about 1 week ago, and as you can see, the females are keeping eggs. They've got their eggs very, very fastly, and most of the females that went into the tank got their eggs. So the one thing that you can see is that I also tried to put some of the plants in the soil. I thought that it will be beneficial and it will be helpful for the tank to achieve better nitrogen consumption straight from the soil. Unfortunately, those plants didn't go too good. I will say more about that in the later part of the video. Here you can see my shrimps feeding, and as you can see, they react for the food very, very strongly. There is a big fight for the food. We got lovely females and we've got very, very nice patterns. I didn't have any problems with molting in this tank. The shrimps got the first molt very, very fastly, and there was no problems with the molting. And here you can see some of the females buried with eggs. This is how the tank looked at the beginning, at the starting stage, and this is how it looks now. The quite interesting thing about this tank is that I'm using the heater. I'm using the heater first to make those bacteria live faster or breed faster, and on the other hand to make the shrimps go through all of it life processes faster, because as you know, keeping higher temperature will make all of the things happen in your shrimp tank faster. Another very important thing about this tank is that I had no deaths after putting the shrimps in the tank. You may be familiar with the problem that sometimes when you put shrimps into the new tank, maybe you didn't cycle it fast enough, you didn't have a good acclimatization process in the tank. You can have some issues and some of the shrimps can die. Not even straight ahead, but after some time. In this tank, I didn't have any issue with that. But I've got an issue with something different, and this issue was quite a surprise for me, and the issue considered the health of the plants. As you know, I'm not using any of CO2 injection, any of additional fertilizers in this tank, and I think that I had not enough ferts in this tank, not enough shrimps in this tank, and not enough feeding so that I will be able to produce enough of food for the shrimps. And as you can see, there is a very, very weak plant conditions. Most of the plants that were put in this tank didn't survive, and those that survived aren't in good condition. You can see that we don't have a nice green coloration. Some of the plants are dying off, and the shrimps are feeding on those plants. This is a big issue for me because I thought that I will be able to have a very nicely conditioned plant. Another reason that could occur, and that could be the reason that those plants are in weak condition, is that I've started the tank with RO water. As you know, I don't add any additional salts to the tank for the cycling period, and this time I didn't add as well any of those salts for the shrimps, for the plants, and maybe due to the low hardness of the water, the plants had very big issues at the start. We'll see if there will be any development, any of health in this plant. Another quite interesting topic is the soil that I use, because I used ADA version 2, and this soil might have influence on the plant condition because this soil has fertilizers as an addition in tablets, so you don't have too much ferts in the soil, and maybe that's a reason for the plant conditions. On the other hand, I couldn't put that ferts in the soil due to the fact that we use anoxic filtration, we use under gravel filter, and all of this could affect the health of the shrimps. So if I would have to choose if I want my shrimps healthy or if I want my plants healthy, sorry, I will decide on the shrimp side. I will decide that I prefer my shrimps more healthy. As you can see, I also used driftwood in this tank, and I think that I will attach some mosses to this driftwood so that we will have a little bit more of the green, a little bit more of the plants in the tank, and I think that mosses can handle this tank situation much more better than those plants. I don't know, maybe if you want, I will try to do a similar tank, but with a little addition of CO2. You can write me in comment if you would be interested in this type of video. The quite interesting factor about adding this driftwood, not only for the look of the tank, is the purpose of using this driftwood to give additional of fluvic acids and additional off surface for beneficial bacteria. And as you can see, the new tank, very happy shrimps, females with eggs, everything is going well. I hope that this tank will develop in the time, and that I will be able to show you another update with lots of the shrimps, and that we will be able to use this tank for the cooling video of those beautiful snowflakes. And if guys you would like to start this type of tank, please click the link that you will see on the screen. There you have the video from setting up this tank. Thank you and keep on shrimping.